Okay. I'm gonna say something while stay home. If you can have let's say that for obvious reasons, we don't know who the main, you're like, let's pretend in this scenario that you have a problem. You have a serious problem. You trying to solve it. You're trying to get some recourse. You're trying to get okay. Maybe I shouldn't be um like playing around words. Um so I think with like revolutions, resistance, change, you have to, in order for it to be effective, you have to know who the main character is in this story, or the person who is a focal point behind every decision. And I believe that is the shareholders. And I believe the only way to actually have is not okay, so the first step with is to have a the first step to be to having any influence on something that perhaps you are not, you don't have any like swinging power as as the people in power would like you to believe, is to probably get their attention. So now people would say, oh, protesting, destroying your stuff, making speeches. Right, and I think all those things do drive the narrative and make people care. But I would say, what would be a more effective strategy? Stay home. Why do I say stay home? Because shareholders, their whole aim is to make sure they get more money. They make sure their stock is of value. Can their stock stay in value if you stay home? No. Can their stock sell? Can they make, these decisions and, these money moves if you don't go to work? If you don't buy things? No. And when governments and politicians and all these people make changes, is it for you? Or is it really for these shareholders, stockholders? I think we know the answer. So first rule in negotiations is to establish who has the power. And the only way to establish who has the power is to make a power move. And a power move is to have to be like one united fist. Like you just gotta make a fist and say, okay, we're not moving. It's not to lay out demands. It's just to say, oh, we all working as one. So you don't go out, you don't say your demands, you just say, okay, we all staying at home. Now comes the interesting part. Your government's not gonna like respond with kindness. Your fellow people who are like, oh yeah, I'm for the government, like I'm gonna be down for the government no matter what, it's gonna be like trying to dissuade you. But if you want like a revolution, you gotta do a power move. And a power move essentially means that if you don't think I have any power, if you don't think that I don't have the strength to make it, like if you don't, essentially you gotta be like, okay, we all going down together. Like that's the ballsy move. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna make any demands, and I'm just gonna have your attention. And then once I have your attention, and then you were like, oh yeah, you come to me in the proper way, then I will say, okay, this is what I need to be done on this date. It's not done on this date, then we all keep going down together. I'm saying, like, essentially that means that your whole economy is going to be not so great. But at the end of the day, if you have all these resources, what is like civilization? It is not upon like agreed upon like social contract. What is money if like, you know, money and rules and what? So if you guys all together be like, they could try to evict you, they can try, but if you all together in the same boat, then they don't have no power to do anything. So if you guys want to be like, okay, we will go back into the olden days and barter. Like, I need your service. You can essentially do that. Like if like the majority of you decide to do that, and you're like, okay, like our economy, but we have everything that we need, and we don't have any global, you know, frameworks upon whatever. But if I'm just saying that it doesn't even have to be a prolonged battle if the government is self-serving. But I'm just saying that, and some governments is essentially is like, because the nature of governments crave power, and because they are beholden to the shareholders and just the aggregation, like constant aggregation of more and more and more and more resources to the top, to the few or whatever, they're not really going to be invested into the common folk like comfortable. So when you disrupt that, and especially if the government is like really bad and really corrupt and really have a vice grip on all your lives, there will be extreme pushback. Like, there will be like, oh, we have to cut off. They feel like they have to uproot all these negative, like, essentially they have to cut through the disease. They're gonna see as you being a part of the resistance. So you just, even you staying at home, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna try to censor it. They're gonna try to, you know, have like this image of like, oh yeah, haha, this is stupid. They'll try to discredit it. They'll try to, because you're just uprooting everything that, you know, that they purport to be like they're being like a perfect society, that they're like a mirage, like you disrupting the mirage. I can't say what is important and how you should go about it, but I would say that that would just be just a scenario of like, okay, if you choose to do this, know that it will come at a great, if depending on how depending on how much your government value its citizens, it can go ass up pretty quickly, or it could go the way you expect it. There are no guarantees, but it's just going to be, everything's going to be at a cost. Like, the people, all the revolutions in the past, they realized that, oh, death isn't like something that I should be scared of anyway, because everybody is like dropping like flies or whatever. So I might as well put my body on the line for a cause that I believe in. And a lot of people had to die in a lot of various undignified ways in order to have as much progress as there is right now. I'm saying the rules have changed. The media and the landscape and how they treat facts have changed, so that the way the truth is not the truth anymore. So if like you and a bunch of people decide to protest and be violent or whatever, you could, through the lens, the media lens, you're just gonna be seen as agitators, as something that's disrupting a perfectly, and then even if they give you some grace and they say, well, oh, the system isn't perfect, but at least you're not these agitators, they're still gonna paint you as the bad guy. So I would suggest that the best course of action to be like, okay, if you are just staying at home, you go through the bartering system, you starving the government, you starving the shareholders from, getting access to your money. You just like, okay, we're going back to the old system where you be like, oh yeah, I toil on your land, you give me blah, blah, blah. And economically, like, things like, well, we go down together then. Then of course they don't have like as much of a bargaining chip, because it's like, what tool are they gonna have, to like oppress you? Cause like, oh, we all in the same boat together. Like, what do you think? Like, okay, if we all in agreement that, yeah, that's not what we asked for and we're not gonna stop, then what's gonna be your bargaining chip? Especially if we already decided that, okay, we in this together, whether you like it or not. And even if there's like a few people who's like, well, this is not fair, I don't believe this, I want to go back into the, they themselves also don't have a bargaining chip, and they themselves will probably try to leave, and they probably will try to discourage people. But if you keep that fist clenched, like, yeah, I believe that the government, no matter what stubborn government does, whatever, they can't kill like an idea. They can't kill people's, like, the fundamental like principle to be like, oh, if I need this to happen and I believe that I am worth doing all this, and my kid who's gonna grow up into the system is worth all this, then no matter how many times that you fail and you try again, you're gonna always end up in this system of like resistance. Like, oh yeah, this didn't last long, but resistance 2.0 is coming. Like, it's gonna be cyclical, keep happening over and over. But like I said, like everybody has like has a right to choose, like, if the path that they leave. But I would just think like, oh yeah, maybe this could be something worth investigating. Yeah. Yeah.